Is there anything in your life that kind of feels like a 6 right now? Like it's not amazing. It's definitely not like a 9 or a 10. And it's not horrible. Like it's not like that 2 or 3 where you're just slugging through and suffering and the pain is so intense. It's just a 6. Like it's just okay. I really try to pay attention to the 6s because it's so easy to get stuck at a 6. Because if something right now is a 2 or 3 in your life, maybe it's your job, maybe it's a relationship that's just excruciatingly painful. We'll figure that out. Like, there is not a lot of downside. Like, it just can't get that much worse, right? And there's a lot of upside, and change is hard, and we don't like to do hard things. But if it's a 2 or a 3, the pain is like such a great motivator to do the hard work. And if something's an 8 or a 9, then that's amazing. And we're celebrating and we're rejoicing, but it's so easy to get stuck at a 6. And here's the thing with 6s. When you think back on your life, like imagine yourself at 80 or 90 and someone says, "Hey, how was your marriage?" And you go, "It was okay. I mean, it was probably a 6. And they said, "What about your creative life? Like, what things did you make or create that were just lit you up?" And you go, "Well, I mean, that was maybe kind of a 6. Or if they ask you about your career and you're like, "It was fine. It was good enough. It was maybe a 6. Where in the moment, a 6 seems kind of good enough. By the time we get to the end of our life, I'm scared that it's going to be devastating. Like if I look back and everything was just kind of okay, I'll feel like I wasted the best parts of my life. And I don't want to waste anything. Like nothing wasted is one of my mottos. But it's hard to make change at a 6. Like, let's be real about this. Like, we don't go to marriage counseling if our relationship's a 6. If we want to get in a little bit better shape, we don't hire a personal trainer to torture us if we feel like our health is about a 6. And it is really hard to switch careers, to find a new passion project, to build new friendships and relationships if we're just at a 6. So I don't worry too much about the 2s and 3s because you know what? You're going to work those out. You're going to figure it out. But pay close attention to the 6s. Most of the regret that I feel when I look back over my life are the times that I stayed stuck at a 6 because I just wasted time. I wasted the most precious thing I have with something that was really mediocre. I think that the serenity prayer was created for the 6s in our life. Like, God, give me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So for all of you, for myself, here's to us having the wisdom for courage and the wisdom for acceptance. And if you are a classic overcommitter, stick it out far too long like I was. I don't know if you've ever had these jobs where the night before you start to feel kind of physically sick. Like, am I coming down with something? I don't really understand what's going on here. Or the jobs when you pull into the parking lot and you just feel your body start to fill with dread. I was the classic overcommitted employee. And I tell you what, if there's anything that my 37-year-old self could tell my 22-year-old self, it would be like, "Sweetie, you are not doing anyone any favors. It is just time to go. It's time to release something." So if you are like me and have been, sometimes you get stuck at 2 or 3s as well, maybe this is the year. Maybe this is the year that we pull out the 2s and the 3s. We don't stay stuck at 6. we don't settle for a life that's really mediocre. Because just remember, we don't have to be perfect. We just have to be a little bit more courageous every day because adventure awaits.